It was that video with me and Greg and Keo. And it's a feather my cap to have an 8-time Miss Olympia champion, tell me she liked the interview and she appreciated my work. But anyway, there's, as you know, with the Rising Phoenix coming up, she did little reports. I think, I believe Alex sent to me and some other people sent to me the video. I'm gonna pull it up and check it out, where she's talking about the Rising Phoenix. She also saw the other video earlier where she talks about if you go into the Rising Phoenix chat, Instagram, you can get a free pass. You gotta put in your like and stuff like that. I wish I can do it, but I can't afford to go all the way to Arizona after.
Same. I thought it was gonna be for me, but it's a long story. I thought I was gonna do it this year, but reality had knocked on my doorstep.
Reality means bills. I don't make enough money. I can't. I wish I had the means, the ways to do it. And we go to my IG. I got a thing where I'm look for donations for shows in my. I got a GoFundMe and I hadn't got anything. So, but here it is. It's a nice little video that's given, and she posted it. She's also with another competitor who's competing.
This weekend, Rising Phoenix, an all-women's pro-am bodybuilding show, will take over Desert Diamond Arena in Glendale. It is one of the last major qualifiers before the Olympia, which is known as the Super Bowl of bodybuilding.
And this is so cool. We have two very special women with us today. We're joined by Linda and Renee. Linda, you're an 8-time Miss Olympia, and you are also an Olympian. This is so exciting. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you for having us. It's great. We're really excited, that this show will be here in Arizona, and the best women in the world have an opportunity before the Olympia to be on the largest stage in the world.
So tell us about the significance of the Olympia, because you've won it 8 times. You said one more than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's right. And I love to make that point. That's right. I won 8 Miss Olympia. And Arnold, he's only has 7.
Oh.
So I love that. Yeah, so it's our Super Bowl of bodybuilding. And at the Olympia, we'll have 11 divisions, and 6 of those divisions are women. So we have 6 different divisions that you'll see here in Arizona at the Rising Phoenix.
That's so cool. Talk to us a little bit about the preparation for this. Like, this show is coming up. What are they going to be doing? What are the athletes doing right now to prepare?
Well, the athletes have been preparing for the show at this point for months, maybe weeks for some. We have both pros and amateurs in this show. So their food has to be on point. Their training has to be on point. Cardio has to be on point. Goodness. The day of the show, they get their hair and makeup and their tan done. So it's all really exciting. There's a lot of work that goes into show day.
Linda, can I say it on air how old you are? You're in your 60s. You look phenomenal.
I'm in my mid-60s.
You're amazing.
Yes, thank you.
Talk about how bodybuilding has changed over the years and how you hope it continues to evolve to be more of a female sport, because women can be out there and they can be just as strong as men.
Absolutely. It's really changed. When I started in the mid-'80s, it was just women bodybuilders. But as I said, we have 6 divisions, 6 different types of athletes. And Renee, she's a bikini, IFBB bikini pro. So we start at fit model, then we have the bikini division. We have what's called women's physique. We have the figure division. We have the fitness division, and we have women's bodybuilding and wellness.
Wow.
So 6 different types of physiques that women can now choose from, versus when I started in the mid-'80s, it was only women's bodybuilding.
Yeah. Wow. Tell us, what is the hardest part of competing? Because I want to know about the diet specifically, because you have to be extremely disciplined in the food department, I'm sure.
You have to have that really dialed in. And I think it varies from person to person, but your meal timing is really important. So you can't go too long without eating certain types of macronutrients when it comes to your protein, carbs, and fats. Everything has to be dialed in and on point to really execute a perfect look on stage that day.
So what do you think they're having for breakfast this morning as they gear up for the competition a week from today? What's in a breakfast?
Well, I can tell you, I had egg whites and oatmeal for breakfast this morning. And that's a very common meal to have for most competitors.
And no added stuff on there, just the oatmeal, the egg whites.
Brown sugar?
A little bit of salt, maybe some cinnamon.
Okay. Okay. And tell us about the event next weekend if people want to go watch. What can they expect when you all are out in Glendale next Saturday, right?
Yeah, that's right. So on next Saturday, all women. And like I said, you'll be able to see all 6 of those divisions. It's the Rising Phoenix, and from women's bodybuilding all the way to the bikinis division. And so the overall winner will win that prize to the largest stage in Las Vegas at the Olympia. So this is their last opportunity to do that. So, and it's the largest in Arizona, all women's event. And we've done that from day one.
I think what's also exciting about it is a pro-am bodybuilding show. So we have amateurs and pros competing at this show. So even if you're just a fan of fitness, it's fun to go see because you can see it from, beginners all the way up to the most excelled athletes in the world.
Yes.
Cool. Well, I can't just talk to you guys, Olympians, and not do a bit of a workout. Okay, we're gonna grab some dumbbells.
Let's do some shoulders.
What's just an exercise that's gonna get you warmed up?
Are we all doing
I can
this?
do this.
You can.
Oh,
Okay, so let's put them right here.
my jacket's a
And
little
then we're
tight.
just going to raise it right
great.
second.
There you go.
Ooh.
How does this look?
That looks perfect.
Okay.
It's great.
How long
That's
do you
great
work out
form.
for a day, by the way, when you were training?
It depends on what I'm training, but usually from anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, just for weight training. And then you have your cardio on top of that, posing practice on top of that.
Okay, so there's a lot of, look at Whitney.
There you go.
Yeah, she's got it.
I'm doing
this.
this.
That was really great form.
Thank you guys so much. I will say, Chris, our photographer here, he bet me $10 yesterday that I couldn't climb up a wall and into a tree, and I did it. So now he owes me $10. So
Wow.
we're helping, Chris.
Well, he did get you Starbucks this morning, so that eats out about $7 of it. Thank you, ladies, so much. This was really cool, inspiring. Now I feel like I need to hit the gym today.
We have a gym
We're
here.
here.
We do.
Which is awesome.
It is pretty cool. I've never used it. Have you?
No.
One day.
But we do segments in here. It's a great backdrop
It is.
for our fitness segments. Thank you, ladies. We appreciate it. It
thank
was
you.
great meeting you
Thank
as
you,
I
guys.
trip.
Well, it's great. I mean, that's one thing bodybuilding needs. I often say this: it needs good press. People talking about, not just the women, but also the men, because they need the attention. Even though it's just it's a local news market in Arizona, it's still news. As you know, a while back, Sherry Priani did an interview for a local news station in Florida. Natalia Cuejo did one also. She's happy. A couple others have done
I
in the
remember
past.
Sherry got her review for the news. I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's the thing that impresses me is that local news does such a better job with bodybuilding than mainstream national media. I mean, all the bigger networks, it's like the narrative is always the same thing. When you look at the bigger shows, it's psychology, steroids, and sessions. That's the 3 subjects they always cover. But that's what I love about local media covering stuff like that, because they do such a better job. Just like that. That was wonderful. That's a wonderful opportunity of ambassadorship for the Rising Phoenix. That was fantastic. I wish more people would do that for other shows. That they would go to local media personalities, TV, radio, podcasting, such like that, and not in bodybuilding, but in just like they did here with the general public, because that's how you get new people interested. That's how you get new fans, and that's also how you get new competitors. Is by going that route. That was wonderful.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's great. I mean, it's opportunity for representation and recognition. These ladies work hard, and they need that because they don't get enough of it. People always going to look at bodybuilding because it's always steroids, but there's more steroid use in mainstream sports like football, basketball. Right now, The Rock just did a movie about the guy Mike Kerr, who was an MMA fighter. And I've done content on it. I've known quite a few MMA fighters who got busted for using performance enhancers because it's so easy to point and pick at the finger at bodybuilding compared to the others.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just saw this.
What?
I just saw they have apparently just posted the competitor list for
What
the
is it?
Rising Phoenix. We have 5 in women's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
What the?
Total of 5. I know. I'm shocked too.
No, I was about to say that
Just,
too. Yeah.
I just saw this. We just posted by Hank the Tank 5 says Rising Phoenix list just came out. Only 5. What the hell?
I know that's a total shock to me
This is
too for the
truly
number
disappointing.
of
This is
people who show up to this. Yeah, because it's Michelle Brent, Natalia Kovaleva, Amanda Santos, Andrea Shaw, Monica Vega. That's it. At least according to now, that doesn't have. Wait a minute. That doesn't mean they can't. That means that what they have right now. That doesn't mean they can't update it. So, but still, I mean, just if it really does end up just being 5 people, that's like wow. Because I also looked at women's physique, 26 for that. So it's a stacked lineup for women's physique.
What?
And that is the open. That doesn't include Masters 40, which has what 12.
Well,
So
right here,
women's physique just is, in far as the sheer number, is dominating women's bodybuilding.
This
I
is going to be long show this year.
like I said, just when I heard it, I just pull it up, and I'm gonna share it with y'all in a bit. And this is some shit. What the fuck?
I know.
What
I'm
the fuck
shocked.
is going on?
I really am shocked.
Hey,
And
George,
again,
at least your drink, at least Andrea's in the show. That's a surprise.
Still, I mean, it used to be so. I'm just looking up
I know, but
what
yeah,
the past
money.
lineups are for this, but it was so much bigger in the back in the day. But
Yeah,
again,
what's
I mean, but right now it may update, and there may be more people who show up. I don't know. Maybe that's wishful thinking on my part. But
that's wishful thinking.
We're
Shout out to my
fingers
man
crossed.
here. DJ says the Larsons are cool, great folks. Shout out to them. Thank you, DJ. It was great talking to them. Also, this is from a man here. DJ says Linda Murray, trailblazing career, inspirational figure, dedicated athlete, timeless legend, and a great entrepreneur. Also, we have here. Shout out to the local news for promoting the Rising Phoenix. Shout out to them. Thank you. And it's sad that the bodybuilders don't do the same. He says, also, I miss ESPN that used to cover bodybuilding and air the competition shows back in the 90s. Yeah.
I miss it too.
Yeah, that was definitely a fake file.
Yeah. Also, DJ says, what the hell? Yeah, I'm feeling you, brother. What the hell? Sorry, we don't want to cuss in front of Alex's young ears, but hey, man, we're adults, so we're gonna have to say a few words, okay? Also, says, are they freaking kidding me? I mean, I'm gonna bring up the list here, and this is gonna rub y'all raw. I said again, I am not gonna be mad at the promoters. I am mad at y'all women. Y'all complain y'all don't have enough shows, but then we have a show. Because I think one thing, because they changed the format of the rights, it's no longer the big show like it used to be. They're cutting down the money. You don't get all the other prizes and stuff and incentives used to. Now they have to pay to come and complete now because it's going to make it like a regular show. I don't know why Andrea's do it. She's going to do it. She's going to, but this is the list. And if you can see it, right here again, Michelle Brent. She just did the Atlanta Pro. Shout out to Miss Brent. She should have got invited back in 2023. Now she's here, and she's one of the last true female bodybuilders. Natalia Koleva, Amanda Santos. Shout out to Amanda. Andrea Shaw and Monica Vega. Now you look at the figure list; it's stacked because you're always gonna have a lot of them. Just had to show the What's the Face Pro. They had nearly 40 women at that show. Bikinis always gonna be stacked. Physique. Here we are. Polonia. I can't say her name right. Natalia Bastrova from Russia. Wow. Christina Dresko. Any of you heard a while back? Jeannie Feldman. I'm surprised she's doing shows.
Yeah, I actually met Jeannie. I actually met her at Tampa last year.
Yeah, Lika Fonikova. She did a show last year. Regina Garcia. She's new. There's Tracy Guile. Martika Hiltriff, I got her name right. Marika Jones, the Iron Woman. She says she's gonna shut it down. But Nicole LaRue, she did Chicago. Dolly Lazar, I can't remember her name. Jay Hai Lee, Alex Lowry, Jody Munchuk, who won a show last year. We have here Sarah, Natalie Miller. I know this lady. Carla Ung, Brooke Piggin. Shea Queen has seen it go a long time. Renee Wiesflencher, Blanca Rodriguez. This lady's name, I'm not going to pronounce it because it's too long. Jamie Stemhauser, just if you heard a while back. Tiffany Walker, who just won her master's qualification at the Atlanta, and also the lovely Miss Trish Wood. And these ladies here are going to try. I think qualify. I think Tracy might get it. I think to me, it's going to be a battle between Tracy and Natalia Bastrova. I feel she brings in her condition like she did last year. It's going to be a battle between her and maybe we might get somebody else. But looking at this list right now, I could probably Blanca. I'll give it to Blanca a bit, but I can see Tracy, Natalia Bastrova, Trish Wood, Blanca, and maybe Natalie Miller. She's gonna make her debut because she turned pro last year at Nationals, and she's a pressure lady. But this is the one that really rubs my craw. 5.
There were 12 competitors last year.
Yeah.
12 competitors at the same show. And then when you go back and look at the lineups when it was just starting out, you had like 20 women show up. So it's like, oh my God, I'm really shocked. I'm really, really surprised.
I am shocked too, yeah.
Well, as I said again, the Rising Phoenix is now, as you know, is no longer considered the Women's Bodybuilding World Championships. Let me bring my brothers in. It's the format has changed, where it's now a regular. It was already before Olympic qualifier, but as long as you have people like Ashley, you had Angela, and also ladies who get their qualification early in the season. Who's people I was hoping to see maybe Rashana Boswell. We hadn't seen Mila Ash since Triple O. No, since the Masters Olympia. I saw pictures of Patty Hansen, but I think she might try to do the show in Grand Prix. And one lady I just did, she just had a birthday last week, Jessica Martin. We hadn't seen her since 2023, which took second to Christina. She has present physique. I think she did another show. She's gonna do well. Some of those ladies, I think, gonna try to do the Grand Prix, but because as you know, this year they're not. It's not like Jake used to do it. He brings you in, invites you, pay for you this and that, give you a lot of these per diems. They don't have that anymore. It's a regular qualifier now. Maybe Jeremy, they might add on a few ladies. They might jump on. I don't know. Usually say that the
Well, what is the cutoff for qualification for it? What's the date?
I think let me go to let me check real quick. Should be I probably have to go to the Wings of Strength.
Yeah, I don't know what the date. I don't know what the cutoff date was, but still, I'm just completely shocked. Hank the Tank 5 has made a comment. He said, "I honestly don't blame the athletes for not competing at Rising Phoenix. Taking away the prize money and the prestige was inexcusable, in my opinion. There's no reason to do the show." I got to agree. I mean, as long as it was a world championship and as long as it was bringing money, I mean, going back and looking at some of the lineups, you had like 24 women in some cases showing up for the show. But now if you're going to get rid of the prize money, you're also not going to make it the world championship anymore. Again, it's just another prize. It's now just another pro show. I mean, so that's what made it stand out. That was one of the reasons why people wanted to get involved. So,
10 years.
So
10 years. What a disappointment for a 10-year anniversary. Did I forget to mention this?
Actually, it's 11.
Yeah.
It's 11 years because remember you got to count when it started. It started back in 2015, and then you have that when you hit 2020, that becomes like a zero. So you go 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
2016 was the debut year for it. So
2015 was the actual debut.
Oh,
because
okay.
remember it was originally part of the Texas Pro, but they called it Rising Phoenix, and then it moved to Arizona and became its own show. Yeah, but trying to look at the applications here. Membership applications. You have to be a member. Let's see what's going on. Maybe I'll reach out to some ladies. I know, like I said again, see, Amanda Santos is doing the show. And also, see, restriction free. See, mm, try to find it. See, somewhere here. But
No offense to the other ladies in the list, but if we're just going to have 5 people from that list, the one and only person that I can think of that stands a chance against Andrea is Natalia. Is Natalia Kovaleva. I mean, no offense to anybody, but that's just what I'm seeing here. So, but I'm just still blown away by this. I mean, they kept advertising this as like, okay, well, we made these changes, but still wanting to make it a good show. It's like, I'm sorry, but no, you're taking away the things that made the show great. So
but
I'm
you got,
really surprised.
but you got to go get. Jake has to compete with the Honor Classic next year, because now he's raised up his prize money to nearly $250,000. And he has to compete with that show. You don't want this show to have more money than you. And then I understand the frustration, brother. I do. But again, I see his business point, because he done so much for the division. But at the same time, like my man, we tried my man Keith on here. He couldn't make it. Some was having to have him. Some technical difficulties. He couldn't make it. I mean, he would probably. I'll call him later to let him know. But it's just crazy. This is the biggest show for women's bodybuilding.
Well,
This
Wings of Strength, period. I mean, they got rid of their ambassador program where they
well,
were with the nice packages that they had there too. It's and
his
then they
thing
had the Wings of Strength YouTube channel. That's pretty much been abandoned, and now it's been replaced by Olympia
Olympia.
TV. It's just yeah, but it's just I look at that and I'm like, oh my God, this is getting bad.
Well, the thing is, again, it's about the sense of business. It's like Keith often says, if it doesn't make dollars, it don't make sense. And I just, I'm bit, like I said, I know some ladies. There's quite a few bodybuilders on the West Coast. As I said again, that could be, hey, you know what? Let me jump in the show. This could be a great opportunity for qualification, because it's top three that gets to get the spot. So that means Andrea already got her spot, because she's a former champ, and also she's coming in as Miss Olympia. Then
Yeah, I think
that's probably the
it's no surprise she might be a shoe in for this weekend. I'm sure Natalia might. Yeah, it's been a while since I saw Natalia compete, and Amanda. I think Amanda does look like she has the she does have potential. Like, I saw how she looked and how her presentation looks. She almost got. I think there's something a bit off that might tweak a bit, but I think she's solid enough. Maybe like top three or something for the contest. Hopefully, I don't know.
well, like the Amanda's amazing physique. I mean, but I just popped on here to the Dennis James Germany Offenbach is the Pro Europa Championship in Germany, and I look at the list for women's physique. I mean, women's bodybuilding.
Okay.
Hold on to the guys, because sad enough, they have at least one woman more than the Rising Phoenix.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Oh
I
my
I am
God.
I am so excited. My head's about to burst. Seriously,
Well,
guys, really.
here it's overseas, but still, I mean, you have Alcione Barrito,
I mean,
you have his Unta Spitzbart,
oh, she's a
Liz
Kirk. Oh, she's competing again. Cool.
Liz Medz, I forget the name. I can't, Barbara Mogin,
Oh, Barbara, cool. Barbara, she
Anastasia Ryder, and
cool.
Isiat Fabian. I remember I interviewed her a while back. She's rich. She's Brazilian, but she lives in Denmark. Now, somebody who has done this show, Virginia Sanchez, she's been inactive. Um, that would have made at least 8, maybe 7. You know, she was going to do the Masters O, but she dropped out. There's also Elizaveta Sharchenko, and a couple more ladies that did the Masters O in women's bodybuilding. And this is right here in the backyard. Some ladies who are from close to Europe. Like Irene Anderson and also Jacqueline Fuchs, Jay Fuchs. Then we go to women's physique.
Is that how you pronounce her name? That's how her last name's pronounced all this time. I really have a hard time trying to pronounce it all these years.
It's Fuchs. That's how it's pronounced, or is it? Yeah,
Fuchs.
yeah,
Fuchs.
Fuchs.
Okay.
Yeah, Fuchs. So we have here is Ilya Armini. She's from the UK. Diana Conomello. I hate to mispronounce these names. Alexandra da Silva. Yasmin Gualuch from France. Amazing abs, great physique. Jenny Gross. She's from Germany. Another German competitor, Katya. Modesta Haming or Modesta Habib, we might make it recognize that. Vanessa Santana from Spain. Tooks McCauley, who was doing women's bodybuilding, now she's doing women's physique. Nadine Phoenix, Jessica Jessica S, I'm gonna say like that. Kirsten Kelleck, she's from Germany. Carla Melissa Torres Cruz from Mexico. Come all the way from Mexico to go. You could have done my guess because there wouldn't be numbers. You're coming a long way. You're always Mexico. You just cross the border. I mean, and also her here, Osoli, what's the face? She's from Hungary. Alida Opre. She's missing. So, are we going to see her come to the States compete at the What's Face show, or she's just going to do, because this is the backyard. You're in Hungary. You're not too far from Germany. What's going on, folks?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. We got here, shout out to my man, DJ says, in the words of Bishop Bullwinkle's song, hell nah, to the nah, 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 hell to the no, hell to the no, to the nah, nah, no, nah. Listen, this is unacceptable, ladies. You got to do better. But the thing is, that ladies are kind of pissed off because they changed the whole format of the Rising Phoenix. I understand. But then when I talk to other people, they were not playing their parts when Rising Phoenix had a press program. Learn firsthand for two people who were there. My big brother Keith and his wife Tina. They told me some things, and and I'm just saying, I'm just kind of surprised and disappointed. I understand. No. I keep saying, don't say understand. I get their point, but at the same time, that Olympic qualification is far and few between. You only have, within this month, 3 shows. 1 is overseas, 2 are in the West Coast. People, like I said again, like Mila Ash, West Teresa and Vasek. I think somebody said she's going to compete next year. Michelle Boswell, she's done a show before. Other ladies have already qualified. They say, you know what? I can't. Some ladies just did the Masters Olympia last month. They don't want to spend no more money than this unnecessarily need to. I understand. Again, I get what you're going at. I get what you're feeling. I need to stop saying understand. I get what you're feeling. But all you others who have not got your qualification, who wants to, I understand it's not about getting qualification, but we need the bodies. We need the bodies. We need come up. I understand. You got to pay out your pocket. That's what you have to pay out your pocket. You got to compare to be active. I mean, Patty Hansen, I think she might do a show in what's the face? In Anaheim. She looks pretty good. I think she should have done this show. She probably could have cracked the top 3. Keisha Oliver, who I saw also at the Tampa, could have done this show. I mean,
but again, what's the motivation? If we're still talking about the Rising Phoenix, so much has been removed from it. I mean, what do you honestly expect? I mean, you know what the expense is for just even one contest prep. And that's true. And that's true, not just on the pro level, but the amateur as well. I mean, and that was one of the reasons why you had these big prizes, because you had big prize payouts. You had a car, in addition to $50,000 on top of that. So, I mean, right there is an incentive. That's why you had all these turnouts. But now that all these things have been removed, I mean, it's just another pro show now. And you take away the incentive. There really is no reason to do that, as opposed to other shows that are now available out there, like the Steve Carr Classic, that they're going to have pro women's bodybuilding that in November. It's going to be interesting to see how that affects Romania, Muscle Fest, because that's the same weekend. They're both on the same weekend, so it's going to be interesting to see how that affects it. But still, that's wise, because the money was there. You wanted a shot at that kind of dough, and you want a shot at that kind of prestige. You take that away, what do you expect? It's just another pro show now. So yeah, it's like, I'm not going to blame. People will say it's the ladies' fault. It's like, well, what do you expect? That's why they were coming, is for the money, for the chance at the prize money, for the chance at that car. Take it away, what do you expect?
Yeah, because they took a great car back in 2023 because Jake was helping promote the Masters O, and that was $10,000. And plus also other divisions got to be paid. Also, the one thing they got rid of was also remember they had the best video where all the competitors do a little video and they cut that out.
Yep.
You had also other things like most muscular and best poser. Those were a little prize money. Top 3 competitors, because I remember one year Shalika won. She was so happy because she won for, I think it was most muscular best poser. I think it was one of those. It's but outstanding, but still, it's as you know, folks, I've been talking about doing this. I was gonna do. I might still do it. Do a live commentary for the Rising Phoenix. I'm like I said, the big point was like women's bodybuilding physique. Maybe figure. Nah, that's too deep. That's too deep a lineup to be. I think I'll just focus. I might do it. I might not. I was talking with a friend of mine. She said, what we do like a live commentary. I said, whatever you want to do, let's do it. But I'm gonna still try to do it. Here, my man here says the only person that Andrea has to deal with based on the competitive list is Natalia Craver, and I forget. I forget. Also, this is from a man here. He said, correct me if I'm wrong, but did the Rising Phoenix give away a car for prize? Well, that was about 2 years, about 2 years ago. I think last time they did it was back in 2022, but they stopped it after 2023. So it's been 3 years since they did it. Shout out to my man Hank the Tank here. He says this. He says, it's promoter's fault in this case, in my opinion. I am not blaming the athletes. Adding more Olympic qualifications doesn't justify taking away the prize money. Don't blame the athletes. Okay, I appreciate that, brother. But this is one of the big shows around. Plus, also, this is from my man saying things. Same athletes went to earn the Olympia qualification by actually winning a show. I bet Titans Grand Prix is gonna have a bigger lineup with Christina Mendoza confirmed. I respect that. Yes. Also, I know my friend Tina. She's doing a show. A couple other ladies I think I'm hearing because this is a show where it's just women's bodybuilding. Last year, last year was women's bodybuilding, men's classic, and fitness. Now it's just because like when he was talking to the guy Tamer, Tariq's brother who runs the show, who runs Muscle Contest, he said we bring it back. We have more bodies, and that was at least I think it was more women bodybuilders at that show, almost nearly 20. So, and this is it's the last show of the year, so we're probably gonna see a big number. Oh, here's from NDCS. Why is Alcyon doing this German show? She's already qualified. What the, well, she wants to be active. To me, yeah. If she does a show, I.
My thoughts on it.
And Chelsea won Vancouver and New York, so I didn't have an issue with that.
That was 2 shows. This is a third.
Oh, third. Well, that's
if she wanted to do a show, hey, why not do the Rising Phoenix? Why? So, also, this is a shout out to my man here. It says, KL, those women bodybuilders are not showing up in numbers. like that it should be is going on, and KL is a disappointing. Yeah. Well,
Well, but another reason why you have to consider that they're not showing up in numbers is I know people are not going to like me saying this, but what if the look itself is part of the problem? I mean, now we're pushing this now to such an extreme that I mean, you have women that are trying to recover and take years in some cases off of competition just to allow their bodies to recover because we're pushing it to such a level. I mean, what if that is part of the problem right there? Is that people are wanting to see that, and I understand that because I want to see it too. But you also got to realize you're dealing with human beings here, not machines. I mean,
so
if they know that something is wrong, or if they go to their doctor or something like this, it tells them that something is off, and they have to take this time off to recover. I mean, that's going to affect numbers too. So I think part of the reason is people are not going to let me saying it, but what if the look itself is part of the problem? Not the whole problem, but what if it's part of it?
well, if you look at over figure now, not figure physique, some of those women should be doing women's bodybuilding. We just talked
It should
about
be, yeah.
Rachel Daniels when she was. I saw her in Tampa. Her client was Keisha Oliver. There's a picture of Keisha and Rachel standing together. Rachel's quads are way bigger than Keisha's. We just a lady who also I saw she competed. She was second to Zalma X, the Tampa Bay pro, Megan Santa Barbara. If you're about to be saying she's just as big, if not as developed as some of the ladies in women's bodybuilding. You know, still women's physique have a lot of numbers, and some of the ladies train maybe not as much, but just as hard and put on just as much as size. Now you got some ladies who are a little bit more smaller, a little leaner, but then you look at again, you look at Natalia Cuejo, you look at Zama Benta, you look at also, as I mentioned again, last was a couple of years ago. You look at what's her name, Sherbert, Melissa. Is it Melissa Sherbert? It's not Melissa. It's God, man, her name's back in my head because she took second to Natalia, both New York and at Pittsburgh, but then she won at Omaha and got her second qualification for the Olympia that year. She took a step back because she dealt with some other issues. Also, can't forget about what's going on with Michaela. She's retired.
Right.
Ann Moon, she retired because dealing with knee issues. It's not just that division, but others divisions. I mean, it's you can't say that it's having this one, but then again, some of these ladies who don't want to move up, they're going to use that excuse, say, I don't want to get big, but some of you are not that far from it. You just maybe 10 pounds from some of the ladies in the open division. Here, shout out to my man here, my man VJ says, start fundraiser or do something to pay for the expenses to go to these shows. Well, right now we start a fundraiser for Tiana Flex, but no one's, other than a couple people have donated to it because no one's gonna do that. Unless it's someone who wants to. What?
I did.
He did. Yes, he did. His friend Grant also. But if it's not something where it's like somebody dying, a baby, or somebody got the carjacked, most people are not going to donate to bodybuilding. Here we got a man KL the Wonder. He says, so sorry to hear DJ. Shout out to him. He says, my condolences. I must have messed the whole thing. Also, this one man, Hank the Tank says, I agree with Jeremy about the Rising Phoenix. Spot on. Yeah. But again, here, you ladies know that there's so few opportunities for your division. And then, again, when you complain about not enough shows where you're not coming there, this is why, like last year, Jack Tatone, who ran the St. Louis Pro, he had 5 women in women's physique at his show. 5 women. That's the year that Rico won. He said he dropped it. Then he told the ladies, hey, if there's not enough, because the Omaha Pro is the only show with exclusively women's physique, no other divisions. You used to have women's bodybuilding other divisions back in the day, but because of some issues with Tatone and some other the promoters and sponsors, it made it exclusive women's physique. He said to them, say, if you don't come up in numbers, like because you had small numbers of this show and only had 3 women in Pittsburgh, he was going to drop it. So I can't say so much that it's not so much. Yes, some athletes got to get ready and whatever else, But you know that if these promoters don't see the bodies, because this is a expense to pay for these divisions, they have to pay entry fees, prize money, and stuff like that. If you're not there to represent, then they say, you know what, hands washed of it. And you always like say Jake did all he could for you. He fought for you. He brought you back. But at the same time, you have to fight for yourself too. Again, I feel you, Jeremy. I feel you. I feel you on that. What you said, I feel you. But at the same time, you know that the opportunities are so few and far between for the division compared to the others. And if it's the look, look at people like Andrea. Look at people like Ashley Jones, Sherry Piami. She took a step back from the medical issues.
But also the thing, and I keep hammering this home. I'm not blaming the ladies who are going to be competing in it, because obviously if it's an opportunity, we have the debut of the pro fit model division next year. That's going to have a direct effect on this too, because you can't keep adding divisions. Now we're up to, what is it now, 7 altogether?
7,
I think, altogether. Eventually it's going, I've said it before, I'll say it again, it's going to be a critical mass reached. There's something is going to have to give somewhere, because they're not going to be able to continue to do this, because the shows are going to go however long now. And that's just on the women's side. That doesn't include the men's as well. Eventually, something's going to have to get dropped. Take a wild guess which is first up. So, and it's like, I don't want that to happen, but I mean, I think there are ways that it can be fixed, but unless changes are made across the board for everybody, including us, the fans, we have to change too. This is going to die out. And you can't, I think you're absolutely right, George, that you cannot assume tomorrow. You had women in 2012 who said, oh, I didn't get my invite letter in for the Miss International over at the Arnold Classic. Oh, I didn't get it in. I'll just get it in next year. There hasn't been a next year for 12 years. So you can't assume that tomorrow is going to be there. You can't assume this division is always going to be there. They pulled it once. There's absolutely no reason why they can't do it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't want that to happen, but it's like, it's history, man.
Yeah.
If they've done it one time, they can do it again. Yeah. I don't want to see that, but I'm just one guy.
And Jake, he done as much as he can, but then now he's part of the family. He's in there with guys like Steve Weinberger and also Tim Gardner and also Gary Unit. Those are Jim Maine's capos. He's one of the capos. He's kind of like for a while they didn't let him in, but now he's a capo. You got guys like someone sent me this. I gotta show y'all this. This is what people on social media, I mean, this is a little thing directed to one of you might want to say Gary Unis wise guys, a guy who I call affectionately Bobby Chick, if you know what I mean by Bobby Chick. And this was posted here. Fire Bob as Mr. Olympia MC signed the petition. Sign the contract, baby. And here it is. It's like they have between Sid versus Bob. And I think it's the gentleman is called, I don't know, it goes by Sid Farr. So let me see if I can pull him up and see who he is. I think he's that Scottish guy, Irish guy or something. Let me see if I can find him. Yeah, I think he's right here. Yeah, I think that's him. And I think he works for, he does expos here. I think he's looks a little different.
Farouk.
Yeah.
Sadiq. I know, yeah, he was on RX Muscle for the longest time. That's where I got it. That's as far as bodybuilding went. That's where I got his start. Yeah, I remember seeing Sadiq all over the place there, but I didn't realize that he had expanded like that. But I was reading through the post that you made, or the post that they had about that, and I just laughed at that because of the double standard. I mean, now when he makes disparaging comments about male competitors, which is what started all of this, what started the recent one, now we've got a petition. 20 years ago, when the same guy called female bodybuilding, quote, bestial, comparing the women to animals, and then also saw fit to say that the fitness division was, quote, ugly, he makes disparaging comments about the women, to where Nancy Lewis wrote her protest letter directly to Jim Mannion calling for his removal as the athlete's representative, and she wanted to see him gone for that reason. He makes those comments then. You don't hear a peep. Everybody says, oh, well, okay, just deal with it. He's got the right to say it, yada, yada, yada. Here we are 20 years later, now with male competitors. Oh, we now are going to have a petition. Now we're going to see to it fit to remove him. Where was this 20 years ago? When he was saying the same. Now, that was 20 years ago. Long time. He could have changed his mind. He could have apologized in that amount of time. Personally, I don't know whether or not he has. If anyone can show me where he has changed his mind or he's apologized for those comments, please show me. But to my immediate knowledge, I don't think he has. So it just shows to me the double standard that's in bodybuilding, that if you disparage men, oh, you get a petition. But if women get disparaged, oh, well, just deal with it.
Yeah. He's at Tampa. That's me, Kevin Lavone on right beside Tim Gardner, me and Isabel Terrell on my left. Boy, those suckers are huge. You try. I'm trying to look forward at the camera, but you can kind of get a little side-eyed a little bit, But yeah, it's always going to be a double standard. If it doesn't affect like this, especially like in the Black community, if it doesn't affect something affects us, doesn't affect you, then it doesn't matter. But then when it affects you, then it's a problem. Right now, he's in a little feud with Nick Walker. I thought Nick Walker posted this thing. I looked at it, no, it's somebody else. And somebody told me this some guy who was a bodybuilder, supposed to be Mr. Canada or something. But it's always gonna be some bullshit. It's gonna be, politics and whatever else. Here, this is from a man, DJ. Thank you, reminding me, Emily Schubert. Yeah, she's out. She's dealing with some medical issues herself also. And that's Women's Physique, Also, he says this is Fit Model, what it takes over with 100 women competing in that division. That's why they have the numbers system now, because it's supposed to halt it, because it said like this. If it's division like Fit, they might add not just the Fit Model, but it's concentrated right now on men's physique, men's classic, bikini, and wellness. Those have like I looked at it. Wellness has at least 20 more shows more than men's open, maybe 10 more. Bikini has over 100 shows, and you have shows where you just have that one division. As men's classic bikini, you don't have any other divisions there. You have that one division, and these are promoters because these are quick turnaround shows. The guys in classic can get ready faster than the guys in open and 212. 212 is losing shows because they don't like it, because you might well, if you're 212 guy, you might well move up to open. That's why Sean Carita moved up last year, because he was numbers getting slow. Here we go. This is from my man DJ. It says Fit Model will take over if their other divisions don't get together. I'm referring to the athletes. Yeah. Also, shout again to my man DJ. Says, why are they hating on Bob? He's great as an announcer. Well, you just heard what Jeremy said. Some people don't think he's great as an announcer. Some people are not a fan of him. He made comments about women's bodybuilding. He should be. I don't condone violence, but but again, it's a lot about politics. Bob's embedded. He's a mid guy. He's like this Chicarello. So he's a mid guy. He's Bobby Chick. He's in there. That's how it works. It's like my man Keith telling me, hey, it's like the mom with the NBC IPP. Everybody has their place. Bobby's one of those guys. He's one of the mid guys. But again, This is like this is about when the list came out for Atlanta, I thought that was bad. But then I got to think about some ladies were doing the Masters. Oh, they wouldn't be ready to do the Atlanta show. But this is, I don't know. Maybe as a fan, I feel like maybe just a fanboy in me. It's good that Andrea's there. It would have been it'd be four women. But still.
Talk about a fall. Talk about a genuine fall. And I think it's sad that that's happening. So.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I got to check out, guys.
All right,
show.
brother.
So,
yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you for coming through. Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Alex.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You too, Jeremy. Thank you for joining.
You're welcome.
Right.
Well, to answer DJ's question, he says, "Where did I get that information?" Go